We're going to be covering Cboe BZX files XRP ETFs for Bitwise, WisdomTree, Canary, and 21 shares. Potential candidates for Trump's Crypto Council revealed report. And we'll cover bold prediction XRP holders on the path to millionaire status. But first, let's see what's happening that's important right now in the news on X. Over 17,000 Bitcoin, or $1.6 billion, were withdrawn from centralized exchanges yesterday, marking the largest outflow since April of 2024. Now, this is huge news. We cover this a lot on CoinGlass for XRP about how much XRP has actually been taking off of the centralized exchanges. Bitcoin hasn't had much outflow like other tokens have as of recent, but just yesterday, a massive amount, 17,000 Bitcoin. So what does that mean? Whales are accumulating, and they're also pulling those coins off of exchanges, not readily available to sell. So this could be a leading indicator that we're going to see a pump. And we'll dive deeper into the article on this, but 3 XRP ETFs filed in the past hour. And even since that tweet, a 4th one came out. And this was a great post right here. Welcome, altcoin friends. I know a lot of you guys potentially are feeling the pain right now because of the fact that you held through this crazy drop that has been going on now for several weeks, but your portfolio loss, and how much does it take to regain that? So if we look at 10% loss, it's only 11% to regain it, 20 to 25, minus 30%, you're at 43. When you lose 40% of your bag, you need to grow it by 67%. And if you lose 50% off of your gains, you need to now have a 100% gain to get back to zero. So in order for us to recoup from where we're at back to the new all-time high, we need to have a 43% gain in the XRP price. And breaking Mike Novogratz states that I was wrong about XRP.
I was skeptical that XRP would have lasting power because Ripple, the company, owns 60% of them, now 55 or 50%. And I was like, that just doesn't seem a proposition that's going to work. And I've been dead wrong. Hats off to Brad Garlinghouse and his team. Ripple is now, a institution. The XRP army is real. They care about their ecosystem and their coin.
And David Schwartz came out and said, mass enterprise adoption. I think that's where we are right now.
Yeah, so thanks. Both myself and Ripple have been in this business for well more than 10 years now. We watched the very early stuff going, to what's happening now with institutional adoption. In the very beginning, it was very experimental, and it was almost like Las Vegas. It was gambling. It was very sexy though. Like, you attract a lot of people to fancy casinos. But it doesn't have a whole lot of real world utility. It's not Financial System 2.0. Financial System 2.0, a lot of it is frankly boring. Like, for most people, what they need is like a savings account is an extremely useful thing. It doesn't produce high yield. It isn't very volatile, but it's extremely useful and practical. And so we've watched that evolution to more useful, more practical, more enterprise focused, more compliant. Compliance was a bad word in the early days. Like, everything was just completely decentralized. But the problem is the value is in the real world. If we're going to build Wall Street 2.0, we can't just say forget about everything that we have. It's trillions of dollars worth of real world value. So what you're seeing today is you're seeing stable coins, which are, they're igniting DeFi ecosystems. They're very institutional products, but they're also, anybody can hold them and transact them. They're compliant, but they're also, free flowing. You're starting to see DeFi applications that look more like TradFi. They're not about getting huge amounts of yield at very high risk, but they're about things that make a lot of sense to people, like treasuries. I think the obstacle for mass adoption, and we're within a few years of that cusp, is we need the institutional adoption for us. The same thing happened with the internet. You have to build bridges to where the value is, to where the people are. There has to be usability. We have to solve all of those problems to be able to turn that corner to mass retail adoption. So I think the precursor to that is going to be mass enterprise adoption, and I think that's right where we are now. That's probably why everybody's here.
So remember, if you are in crypto now, you are early. We front run the institutions, then institutions come, then the mass sheeple start to follow after. You are a crypto genius. And I love this post right here from Crypto. Donald Trump signs the most important executive order.
And lastly, sir, we have an executive order requiring Rockstar Games to release GTA 6 in 2025 and drop a second trailer next week.
That's a big one, huh? A lot of people are waiting for this for years, for decades.
You heard that right, ladies and gentlemen. GTA 6 will finally be getting launched. Oh, I thought that was hilarious. And Ripple's Eric von Miltenberg explains tokenization to a panel at Davos GBBC, picking up where Jasmine Cooper recently left off.
Hello. Nothing that I'll say is in any way contrary to what other panelists say, but at Ripple, we've kind of been on this journey of providing infrastructure, digital asset infrastructure for enterprises, for financial institutions for almost a decade now. I mean, our insertion point was with cross-border payments. We have hundreds of financial institution customers around the world. And it's been a journey, right? Initially, I remember being in meetings 4, 5, 6 years ago with a large bank where their team would be with the executive team, and their team would prep us and say, don't say Bitcoin, don't say digital asset, they'll kick you out. And to see the evolution has been dramatic. Initially, we really were providing infrastructure in the form of a messaging product, kind of a swift update or replacement. Since then, we work with our customers. We make sure we're compliant. I think that's obviously a critical part of the infrastructure that we need to keep very much top of mind. And we move at their pace. Sometimes that's very frustrating when you're dealing with large traditional financial institutions, but the speed at which they want to operate and iterate and innovate is increasing dramatically. We started with cross-border payments. Another core piece of infrastructure, obviously, is custody. We made an acquisition a little over a year ago, a company called Medico in Switzerland that is now that is Ripple Custody, that is serving some of the largest banks and providing that incredibly important piece of infrastructure. And then, per the comments before, this next wave of tokenization, and of course, tokenization in and of itself is great and there's efficiencies, but once you tokenize something, you have to do something with it. You have to be able to store it in a compliant, safe way. You have to be able to transact. You have to be able to move value. So it's really putting together not a piece of the infrastructure, either doing sort of collaborating with others to bring those pieces together in a way that's seamless, and or providing those capabilities organically in-house. And we're as a company exploring all of those.
So let's get into these ETFs. Canary Capital, WisdomTree, 21 Shares, and Bitwise are the latest fund managers filing to launch XRP exchange-traded funds. Cboe BZX Exchange has filed on behalf of 4 asset managers looking to list spot XRP exchange-traded funds in the U.S. this year. On February 6th, the exchange lodged 19 B4 filings for spot XRP funds from Canary Capital, WisdomTree, 21 Shares, and Bitwise. These filings will start a review process with the SEC, now headed by crypto-friendly acting chair Mark Ueda. The proposed ETF's 19B4 filings informed the SEC of a proposed rule change. Last week on January 28, Cboe BZX refiled 19 B4 filings for spot Solana ETFs for Canary, 21 Shares, Bitwise, and VanEck, as analysts noted an uptick in the number of crypto-related proposed ETFs. So once these are adopted, we're going to have massive amounts of institutional buying because your normal, regular, everyday investors who don't want to involve themselves in actual crypto can buy crypto through the ETF. And potential candidates for Trump's crypto council revealed, also bullish news for XRP. According to New York Post, the executives include former Kraken General Counsel Marco Santori, Ripple co-founder Brad Garlinghouse, podcast host Frank Chaparro, Circle CEO Jeremy Allaire, CEO of Coinbase Brian Armstrong, and Crypto.com's CEO Chris Marzalek. President Trump's recent executive order establishing a working group on digital asset markets was broadly welcomed by the crypto industry as a seismic shift in the U.S. government's stance towards digital currencies. Personnel from the Federal Reserve and the FDIC were excluded from the list of mandatory positions on the council. Both tried to kill the industry through debanking and especially targeting my company, Custodia Bank. Both belong on the outside, Custodia founder Caitlin Long said in response to the exclusion of both agencies. On February 5th, the FDIC released 790 pages of correspondence between the government bureau and U.S. firms attempting to offer crypto-related services to clients as part of a regulatory shift. The document tranche included pause letters and requests for more information from crypto firms and banks, seemingly designed to stall the approval process. As part of the document release, Acting FDIC Chairman Travis Hill expressed interest in collaborating with the president's newly commissioned working group on digital asset markets. This is huge. And how about being an XRP millionaire? Based on a historical study, XRP's price movement in 2017, this assertion makes the implication that altcoin is set to run on a similar bull run. For many XRP community members, crypto analyst Steve's viewpoint offers a ray of hope despite current turbulence. Steph's Crypto posted on X, all XRP holders will become millionaires, no exceptions. This was the previous pump for 2017, and it continued to rally. This is where he says, we are here now. We are here now, and this is the current time. So as you can see, there's another huge move, consolidation, another huge move to come. Right now, we are just currently in a consolidation period. It's pretty nuts to consider what we're doing right now. We're down $1.06, and we're in a consolidation period. Considering we sat at less than $1, we sat at 55 and 60 cents for 4 or 5 years. Now we're finally moving up, and we had a pullback of $1, and no one's even batting an eye. Like, people are a little worried, but no one's like freaking out. We haven't seen panic sellers. We see XRP Army holding strong like they've always done. If history is any indication, Steve thinks the altcoin is only halfway towards its expected ascent. According to the analyst's examination, a second ascent might drive the asset considerably higher, maybe reflecting the price movement from 2017. The road to $50,000 per token. Many XRP holders wonder if such a rally would turn them into millionaires. The study indicates that although still rather hypothetical, there is big possibility. For instance, the price per token could go to $50,000. If one wanted 20 XRP ownership, it would be worth $1 million. In the same vein, a 500 XRP holder would need the price to reach $2,000 to make it $1 million in holdings. Although these figures are staggering, they show the significant influence a large surge could have on portfolios of holders. However, whether such a price level are realistic, it is uncertain. Deviation from the 2017 path, a new fractal. Not every researcher shares Steph's hope. Examining XRP's current price movement closely reveals that some variations from 2017. XRP dropped significantly from its January high of $3.40, lately falling below $3. So Dom says, in my opinion, the 2017 is now irrelevant. I see many trying to pinpoint comparison to the 2017 still, and I think it's a waste of time. The fractal has broken. We are in a new era of the game now. Sometime in the rear view helps, but not anymore, in my opinion. And as we can see right here on the 3-day chart pattern, we have the push to the upside. This is the 2017 rally. And unfortunately right here, fractal broke here. This is where that circle point is. As you can see, back in 2017 into 18, it just continued to run to the upside where we ran up. We had our little sideways pattern, started to make their move up, which is right here. And unfortunately, we did have that significant breakdown in price. In spite of these anomalies, XRP has a long-term bright future. Recent price swings of the asset are considered as normal ebb and flow of the market. Correction times are expected, as with any high growth asset.